New Mexico is set to become the first state to offer free universal child care. The state's Democratic Governor, Michelle Lujan Grisham, announced the first of its kind program, free child care for all families, regardless of income, starting in November. A move estimated to save families about $12,000 per child each year. But it also comes with a big price tag for the state, leading critics to ask, is this unprecedented universal program even possible? New Mexico Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham joins us now. Governor, great to have you here. Educators are applauding this measure, which, again, I want to emphasize, is expected to save families an average of $12,000 per child per year. What will this mean for your state's economy and your youngest constituents?
Well, let's focus on the evidence-based pieces first. What it means for these 0 to 3-year-olds and these families and kiddos going to pre-K and then kindergarten, that we just did a study conducted by UCLA that identifies that now 75% of our kiddos going into kindergarten are ready for kindergarten. So one of the highest in the state, in the country, and that's what we want to do. We want to focus on these early learners. We want to do all the developmental work, and we think this is a game changer for our entire education system. 2, it means parents can go to work, so it increases the workforce, and it means we're starting businesses in early childhood and child care facilities. We've seen a 64% increase in that, and we're paying the highest wages in the nation to child care workers and experts.
This sounds like something all parents would be pumped on. I know how expensive it can be. My 2 kids were in child care. You, of course, have to pay these child care providers, though. New Mexico is pushing also to raise wages for child care workers, improve facilities, to add more child care centers. What do you say to those who think this is just too good to be true? Where are you getting the money?
Well, we get it from a lot of different places, and here's how you replicate it for other states. 1, we took $300 million in an appropriation. We put it into a trust fund account. It has 2 different oil and gas tax revenues that come into the fund. It's now $9 billion. Interest from that fund helps to pay for these services, both pre-K and child care. We also have a nearly $54 billion fund called the Land Grant Permanent Fund, also supported by oil and gas, and the interest from that and a constitutional amendment guaranteeing access to high-quality child care and pre-K. That money goes, then we do general fund appropriations, and so if you plan it and you put all of your economies of scale together, and you're building an economy, and you're building a workforce, and you're creating personal wealth and equity with young families, it pays for itself before the fact that we ought to be focusing on child well-being. So I think other states can replicate it. They should look to their strongest economic base and revenue source. And I want to point out for our detractors, New Mexico's also lowered personal income tax, lowered gross receipts taxes, created doubled the amount we were doing for working families tax credit, child tax credits, and we removed taxes on Social Security. So I know you can do both. You can make this an even-handed approach to economic success and personal growth for everyone.
Some Republicans have also argued that child care vouchers should be reserved for the most vulnerable families and at-risk children, pointing to data showing fewer low-income families have participated in child care assistance programs since New Mexico increased the income cap. Governor, what's your response to that?
Well, I disagree. I mean, I will tell you that a lot of our high poverty centers and our child care and educational deserts can be challenging to provide ready access. We're building a rocket ship while we fly it. But this new proposal for universal means that we are licensing and credentialing home daycare providers or child care providers, which means we're guaranteeing access to those who are most vulnerable. And no matter whether you are working or not, if you're in that category, these families are always eligible for universal access to child care. Most states make a condition. You've got a vulnerable family, a family in your children, youth, and families department, or someone, at the lowest level of those poverty standards, and it's low, Anna. then if you overwhelm your child care system, then they may not have access. We don't do that here. And we navigate people into these services. We also do home visiting, and we do family and infant toddler services. It's all combined. This is a blueprint for America. And I'm a bit bullish. Not only do families need this leg up, they need it. They shouldn't be choosing between working and a mortgage and childcare. We shouldn't be minimizing the professionals who do this work across this country. We should be applauding them. They are the brain architects. This, at a time when we see our educational outcomes in K through 12 diminishing, states should lean in and shift that dynamic and make sure that we are leaning into the best quality services, child well-being and education in the world. And that's what New Mexico wants to do.
Well, New Mexico is going to be a first.